Prince William Severs. All ties after DNA test results reveal his true paternity. For years, many have quietly wondered, why does Prince William bear so little resemblance to King Charles? Why did Princess Diana always evade sensitive questions about her troubled marriage? And why, over the decades, has the royal family remained silent in the face of persistent rumors about the true parentage of their eldest son? For decades, these were mere whispers on the fringes. But recently, a DNA test reportedly requested by William himself has changed everything. A result no one anticipated, no one was prepared to face, and one that could potentially shake the very foundation of England's future throne. According to leaked sources, William was devastated. The truth not only wounded him deeply, but also led him to make the most resolute decision of his life, to completely sever ties with the man he once called father. This action has not only stunned the royal family, but also left the global public in shock. Could the DNA results be linked to old rumors about James Hewitt, Princess Diana's former lover? And if so, what does this mean for William's position in the line of succession? Today's video will take you through the most shocking details of this scandal, rocking the royal family, a truth once buried, now rising like an unstoppable storm. On a warm summer night in London, the halls of St. Mary's Hospital were filled with anticipation. A baby had been born, destined for a life unlike any other. This child, born to Charles, Prince of Wales, and Diana, Princess of Wales, was the first grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II and heir to the throne after his father. He was given a name befitting his lineage. William Arthur Philip Louis Buckingham Palace officially announced his name to the world a few days later. Weeks afterward, in this grand music room of Buckingham Palace, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Robert Runcie, christened him in a ceremony attended by some of the monarchy's most influential figures. The day held added significance as it coincided with the birthday of his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. William's birth carried historical weight, marking the first time in nearly 80 years that a Prince and Princess of Wales welcomed a child. Less than a year later, at just 9 months old, William embarked on a journey that set him apart from previous royal infants. He accompanied his parents on a tour of Australia and New Zealand, breaking tradition as no royal infant had ever traveled overseas on an official tour before. Just over 2 years after William's birth, his younger brother Harry arrived. The two princes spent their early years at Kensington Palace in London and the lush countryside of Highgrove House in Gloucestershire. Within the family, William was affectionately known as Wills. His younger brother playfully called him Willie, while his mother Diana had a special nickname for him, Wombat. Determined to give her sons a broader perspective beyond royal palaces and ceremonies, Diana exposed them to experiences most children of their status never had. Her goal was to ensure they understood the world outside their privileged upbringing. As a young child, William was often described as energetic, mischievous, and full of life. However, as he grew, he developed a quieter, more reflective nature. Boarding school played a role in shaping his personality, making him more reserved. Diana, who deeply trusted her eldest son, saw in him a wisdom beyond his years. She often confided in him, referring to him as her little wise old man. His introduction to royal duties began early. In 1991, he made his first public appearance during a visit to Llandaff on St. David's Day. That same year, he and Harry accompanied their parents on an official trip to Canada. However, life took a heartbreaking turn when his parents divorced in 1996. The pain deepened the following year when, in the early hours of August 31st, Diana died in a car accident in Paris. At the time, William was just 15 years old, spending the summer at Balmoral Castle in Scotland with his brother and father. The next morning, Charles delivered the tragic news to his sons. In the days leading up to Diana's funeral, William faced an emotional dilemma. He was unsure whether he could bear walking behind his mother's coffin during the funeral procession. His grandfather, Prince Philip, gently encouraged him, suggesting he might regret not doing so. In the end, William agreed, and on the day of the funeral, he walked solemnly alongside his younger brother, his father, his grandfather, and his uncle Charles Spencer, as they followed the cortege from Kensington Palace to Westminster Abbey. Prince William later admitted that he remained in a state of shock for years, struggling to process the immense grief. When he and Harry each turned 30, they inherited the majority of their mother's fortune. They also took possession of some of Diana's most cherished belongings, including her wedding dress, several gowns, precious jewels, and personal letters. Among these sentimental items was the original sheet music and lyrics for Candle in the Wind, the song Elton John performed at Diana's funeral, as a heartfelt tribute. Beyond wealth and royal obligations, Diana's legacy lived on in her sons, not just in material possessions, but in the values she instilled in them. Her deep compassion, her desire for them to experience life beyond privilege, and her unwavering love shaped William into the man he would become. Every public duty he performed, every charity he supported, and every heartfelt moment he shared with the public reflected the enduring influence of the mother. He lost too soon, the shocking revelation. However, everything was about to take a dramatic turn, exposing Prince William's true paternity. Few stories in recent history have caused as much shock and disbelief as this one. It began as a faint rumor on the internet, but it quickly erupted into a wildfire of intrigue and controversy. The rumor was so wild, so potentially game-changing, that if true, it could shake the very foundation of the British monarchy. At its core is a claim that questions everything the world thought it knew about its royal bloodline. The possibility that Prince William, heir to the throne, is not the biological son of King Charles. Some accounts suggest this revelation stems from a secret DNA test reportedly conducted in absolute secrecy. According to these sources, the test was never meant to be public knowledge, but somehow the truth slipped through the cracks. Some believe an insider deeply embedded within the palace leaked the information, triggering the chain reaction that followed. Others speculate that the test was not recent, that this secret has been buried for years, only now surfacing when it could no longer be contained. The implications of such a revelation are almost too vast to comprehend. The results were hidden, intended only for a select few. If Prince William discovered that the man he has called his father his entire life was not his biological parent, the personal devastation would be immense. He has carried the weight of the monarchy on his shoulders since birth, trained to be a future king, believing it was his destiny. If that foundation crumbled beneath him, what would be left? Some reports claim William has already confronted this truth, that he has seen the results and is struggling to process what it means for him, his family, and the country. According to these accounts, the realization shattered him. The confusion, the sense of betrayal, and the need to protect his own family became overwhelming. This is where cracks in his relationship with King Charles reportedly began to show. Reports suggest William has started to distance himself from Charles, avoiding private conversations, keeping interactions formal and distant, and refusing to engage beyond what duty requires. Those paying close attention say the tension has been visible during their public appearances, a stiffness between father and son that cannot be ignored. Prince William and his father had always shared an easy rapport, a mutual understanding of their roles within the monarchy. But now that seems to be a thing of the past. Behind palace walls, the royal family is said to be in crisis mode. The monarchy's strength has always depended on controlling information and presenting a unified front, no matter what storms rage behind the scenes. But this is unlike anything they have faced before. If the rumors are true, the palace would go to great lengths to bury the story, ensuring it never reaches the public in a credible way. There are whispers of legal threats, with media outlets warned to steer clear or face consequences. Despite these efforts, the story refuses to fade. Strangely, while no major news organization has officially confirmed the rumors, none have outright denied them either. This silence only fuels further speculation. Some believe the press is too afraid to challenge the monarchy, fearing repercussions. Others think the story is too outrageous to be taken seriously. As long as the palace remains silent, curiosity continues to grow. Meanwhile, amidst this storm, Kate Middleton finds herself in an impossible situation. As William's wife, her role is not only to support him, but also to protect their children. George, Charlotte, and Louis are still too young to fully understand what is happening, but they sense the shift in the growing tension within their family. Kate must shield them from the rumors and maintain their sense of normalcy, even as the world around them erupts in chaos. Every move she makes is scrutinized, every expression analyzed for hidden meaning. The pressure is relentless, but she remains composed, knowing her family needs her strength more than ever. As speculation intensifies, people wonder what William's next move will be. Some believe he may choose to step away from royal life altogether, seeking a new existence beyond the throne's reach. Others think he may be forced to confront the truth publicly, issuing a statement that either confirms or denies the swirling rumors. If he remains silent, the mystery will only deepen. As days pass, the questions grow louder. If this rumor holds any truth, it will change the British monarchy forever. Meanwhile, Prince Harry, once the rebellious outsider of the royal family, watches from afar. For years, whispers have surrounded his own paternity, with theories suggesting he may not be the son of King Charles. Never did he expect his brother, the future king, to be caught in a similar scandal. For the first time in a long while, the two brothers may find themselves united by a common struggle, navigating a storm neither saw coming. The controversy surrounding Prince Harry's paternity. 4 years, speculation has swirled around Prince Harry's true paternity, an enduring mystery fueling endless debates, headlines, and hushed conversations. The question of whether he is truly the biological son of King Charles III has fascinated the public, largely due to persistent claims that his real father was James Hewitt, a former British Army officer. The rumor, initially whispered in royal circles, exploded into a mainstream tabloid frenzy, creating a controversy that refused to fade. The story gained traction when comparisons between Harry and Hewitt began appearing in the media. Their supposed resemblance, particularly their red hair, became the subject of intense scrutiny. As pictures were placed side by side in countless publications, the whispers grew louder, evolving into a narrative that shaped Harry's public image in ways he never anticipated. No matter how often the royal family dismissed the claims, the speculation refused to die, lingering in the consciousness of royal watchers and conspiracy theorists alike. As Harry grew older, the weight of these rumors followed him relentlessly. The media's obsession turned his personal life into an ongoing public spectacle, a story where he played the main character without choosing the role. While most people navigate identity and self-discovery, in private, Harry was forced to do so under the world's watchful eyes. The suggestion that he might not be a true Windsor cast a long shadow, affecting not only how he saw himself, but also how others viewed him. The impact on his family relationships was profound. The media's portrayal of his existence as a question mark created a rift between him and those closest to him, fostering a sense of isolation. Even as he tried to forge his own identity, separate from his royal heritage, the speculation about his paternity served as a reminder that to many he would always be defined by an unverified rumor, rather than his own achievements or choices. The idea that he might not be Charles's son became a notion that questioned his legitimacy within the monarchy itself. The persistence of the rumor led Harry to reflect on the media's role in shaping public perception. He wondered whether the speculation was an attempt to cast doubt on his position in the royal family or simply an opportunity for sensational storytelling. The timing made the situation even more painful. Following the tragic passing of Princess Diana, the last thing Harry needed was more pain. Yet the rumors swirled, reopening wounds that had barely begun to heal. Every headline dedicated to the theory felt like an attack on his very identity. The origins of this controversy trace back to the 1980s, a time of both glamour and devastation for the royal family. Outwardly, the marriage between Charles and Diana seemed like the perfect fairy tale. They had a grand wedding, the admiration of millions, and two sons who symbolized the future of the monarchy. Yet behind the scenes, their relationship was unraveling. What began as a hopeful union quickly deteriorated into one plagued by emotional distance, incompatibility, and ultimately infidelity on both sides. As Diana navigated the struggles within her marriage, she sought comfort in those she trusted. Among them was James Hewitt, a cavalry officer with an impeccable military career and charm. Over time, their bond deepened, evolving from friendship into romance. Diana later admitted to the affair, though both she and Hewitt insisted it began only after Harry's birth. Despite their statements, the public remained skeptical, unwilling to let go of a theory too intriguing to ignore. From an early age, Harry's appearance became the center of comparison. Unlike his older brother William, who bore a strong resemblance to Charles and other members of the Windsor family, Harry looked different, his red hair softer. Facial features and expressive eyes were frequently scrutinized in magazines and newspapers. Some saw a clear reflection of Diana's side of the family, while others were convinced he resembled Hewitt. The media pounced on these observations, amplifying the debate and giving it a life of its own. As the years passed, the speculation only intensified. Tabloids capitalized on the drama, publishing photo comparisons as supposed proof of their claims. Side-by-side images of Harry and Hewitt flooded newspapers and television screens, cementing the idea in many minds that their similarities were too striking to be mere coincidence. The fact that the royal family repeatedly dismissed the rumors as baseless gossip did little to stop their spread. For a monarchy built on tradition, heritage, and lineage, even the slightest doubt about a royal's parentage carried enormous weight. The controversy cast an unwanted shadow over the institution, a lingering question mark that refused to disappear. What began as casual speculation turned into one of the most damaging narratives surrounding Harry's life. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the rumors refused to die, transforming into a belief that many accepted as truth. It was as if repeating the theory often enough made it more convincing, regardless of reality. No matter how many times the truth was reiterated, the whispers continued to resurface in conversations, articles, and interviews for years to come. Even as Harry stepped away from royal duties and sought to carve out a new life beyond the monarchy's confines, the story remained an unwanted shadow. The media's ability to control and shape narratives became painfully evident through his experience. Despite all evidence contradicting the claims, the rumors held firm, showcasing the dangerous power of speculation. Harry's journey has been one of resilience in the face of relentless public scrutiny. The question of his parentage may never fully disappear from public discourse. But one thing remains clear. His story is about more than just a rumor. The truth may be simple, but when perception becomes reality, simplicity is rarely enough to end a controversy. Repercussions of the scandal on Prince William and the monarchy. Although Harry has managed to move on despite the rumors, William's case could cost the monarchy more. The consequences would be extreme, given that Prince William is the heir to the throne. A DNA test revealing that he is not the biological son of King Charles would shake the very foundation of the British royal family, leading to chaos, speculation, and endless debates. The implications would be vast, affecting not just William and his immediate family, but the entire royal institution. First, the question of legitimacy would arise. If William is not Charles's biological son, he might not have a rightful claim to the throne. The royal family follows a strict line of succession, and being the firstborn son of the reigning monarch is crucial for inheriting the crown. Without that blood connection to Charles, William's position as heir apparent would be in doubt. This could trigger a constitutional crisis as experts, historians, and legal scholars debate whether he should still be considered for the throne. The public's reaction would be explosive. Some would feel betrayed, as William has been seen for years as the future of the monarchy from a very young age. Others would demand answers, wanting to know who his real father is and whether there was a cover-up. Social media would be flooded with theories and discussions, with people questioning whether the royal family knew about this all along. The British tabloids, notorious for their relentless pursuit of royal scandals, would have a field day uncovering every detail, rumor, and possibility surrounding this revelation. The identity of William's biological father would become the next big mystery. If Charles is not his father, then who is speculation would run rampant, and the media would dig into Diana's past relationships, searching for clues. If William's paternity is in question, people would wonder whether she had an illicit affair that resulted in his birth. This could damage her legacy, or in some cases make her an even more tragic figure, depending on how the public interprets the situation. The effects on William personally would be devastating. His entire identity is built around his role as the future king, the son of Charles and the grandson of Queen Elizabeth. If that foundation is shattered, it could cause an emotional crisis for him and his family. His reaction to learning that the man he has called father all his life is not his biological parent would be profound. Worse still is how it would affect his wife Catherine and their children. Would he continue to pursue the throne, or would he step away from royal duties altogether? Prince Harry would also find himself in the spotlight. The relationship between the two brothers has been strained in recent years, with Harry stepping away from royal life and publicly speaking out against the institution. If it turns out that William is not Charles's son, Harry would technically become the first in line to the throne. However, given his current stance on the monarchy, it is unclear whether he would even want that responsibility. This could also be a way to bring the brothers back together, as William would need support during such a time. The British monarchy itself would face one of its biggest crises in modern history. The institution is built on tradition, stability, and lineage. If the paternity of the future king is in question, it could weaken the entire system. Those who already believe the monarchy is outdated might use this scandal to call for its abolishment. Supporters of the royal family would try to defend William's position, arguing that his upbringing as a royal makes him the best candidate for the throne, regardless of his biological lineage. Political leaders might get involved, leading to discussions about whether Britain should continue to have a monarchy at all. The Queen's legacy would also be threatened. Queen Elizabeth spent her entire life maintaining the royal family's image, ensuring that tradition and duty remained at the core of the monarchy. If a scandal of this magnitude emerged, people would question whether other secrets were hidden within the royal household. The public might start to wonder about other members of the royal family, their histories, and whether similar cover-ups have occurred before. Trust in the institution could be deeply affected, making it difficult for the royals to maintain the level of respect they once had. Beyond Britain, this revelation would have global consequences. The British monarchy is one of the most well-known and widely followed institutions in the world. Countries that still recognize the king or queen as their head of state, such as Canada and Australia, might reconsider their ties to the monarchy. Republican movements in these nations could gain momentum, using this scandal as proof that the system is flawed. Even in countries where the monarchy is not directly relevant, the fascination with royal affairs would lead to widespread discussions and debates. Financially, the monarchy could take a hit. Public funds support the royal family to some extent, and if the public loses faith in them, there might be growing pressure to cut off that financial support. Tourism, which benefits greatly from the royal family, might also be affected. The monarchy's image, carefully crafted over centuries, could be permanently damaged. The impact would be felt across the world, and the monarchy might never be the same again. In the end, the biggest question is what happens next. Nobody knows if William will fight to remain in line for the throne, or if the royal family will try to suppress the truth or embrace it and move forward. Would this be the scandal that finally ends the monarchy? Or would they survive it as they have survived so many other crises in history? Until the truth emerges, all of this remains speculation. But one thing is certain. If a DNA test revealed that William is not the biological son of Charles, it would be one of the most shocking revelations in royal history. William's dedication to charity. William's dedication to charity work is shaped by a strong commitment to numerous causes. He first became aware of HIV/AIDS in the mid-1990s when he joined his family in visiting shelters and clinics for patients. This exposure to healthcare and global issues sparked a lifelong interest in philanthropy. His charitable journey truly took off when he and his brother Harry volunteered at a British Red Cross aid center. They helped pack emergency supplies for victims of the Boxing Day tsunami. William's support for various causes expanded quickly. He became the patron of Mountain Rescue England and Wales. Following in his mother's footsteps, his charitable efforts took another significant step when he and Harry organized the Concert for Diana, a memorial event benefiting charities tied to their mother. William embarked on a motorbike ride across South Africa to raise funds for Centrepoint UNICEF and the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. He supported the philanthropic work of 100 women in hedge funds and took over as president of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. He and Catherine launched a GIF fund to allow well-wishers to donate to charity instead of giving them gifts. William launched a fundraising appeal through the National Emergencies Trust to help raise millions for charities, providing support during the health crisis. His commitment to environmental conservation has been a central theme in his work. He became involved with the Tusk Trust, aiming to conserve wildlife and improve communities in Africa. Over time, he extended his work to combat illegal wildlife exploitation and launched the Earthshot Prize, a major initiative to incentivize environmental solutions. He took on further patronages such as Fauna and Flora International, focusing on preserving wildlife and biodiversity. His mental health advocacy grew out of personal experiences and a desire to use his platform to address critical societal issues. Together with Catherine and Harry, William founded the Heads Together campaign to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health. Over the years, this evolved into several initiatives focused on workplace mental health, youth well-being, and support for emergency responders. During the COVID-19 lockdowns, he volunteered for the Shout Crisis Helpline, offering tech support to those in distress. William's efforts also included a focus on homelessness. As patron of Centrepoint, he raised awareness about youth homelessness, even spending a night on the streets, to better understand the struggles of young people without homes. His work with the charity continued with the opening of a new Centrepoint facility. His involvement with The Passage, another organization supporting the homeless, also deepened. He volunteered at the charity, preparing donation bags and engaging with residents. William launched Homewards, a major initiative aimed at ending homelessness in the United Kingdom by focusing on early intervention and providing housing for vulnerable families. Additionally, William's charitable endeavors took a personal turn in his commitment to veterans' welfare, children's health, and conservation. He worked with charities supporting soldiers, children, the elderly, and the arts. He continued his mother's work at the Royal Marsden Hospital, becoming its joint royal patron with Catherine. His consistent advocacy for mental health, particularly for those on the front lines, showcases his broader commitment to improving the well-being of others. William's work as a philanthropist has not only had a significant impact on British society, but has also extended far beyond national borders, and his contributions continue to resonate across the world. If what has been circulating is true, this is not just a shock to Prince William alone, but an earthquake that cracks the already fragile image of the British royal family. A truth once buried beneath the veneer of royal grandeur has now unexpectedly risen with a weight no one can ignore. William, the man who has always maintained a calm, exemplary image, has chosen a decisive path: no more concessions, no more concealment. From a child who witnessed his mother's suffering, in a cold marriage, he now faces an even more painful truth: his own identity. So how will Prince Charles, the man he once called father, react? And if not Charles, who is the one truly tied to William by blood? Though the royal family has yet to make an official statement, the public continues to ask questions. Is this merely an exaggerated rumor, or is it a piece of truth hidden for decades? What do you think about this shocking affair? Is William defending the truth, or is he inadvertently shaking the throne? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video offered a unique perspective, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next stories where we uncover the truth behind the royal gates together.